All right, so for today, Monday, February 22nd, we're using IXL to review adding and subtracting fractions and decimals, also known as rational numbers. So rational numbers are numbers that are not whole, so that includes fractions and decimals. There's no negative numbers. This is just review from 5th and 6th grade because we can't add negatives until we know the basics. So for your agenda, first thing was your Monday Google Forms check-in. So you'll click this link. It opens up our Monday check-in Google Forms. All you have to do is type in your first name, period. How do you feel mentally? So how is your mind feeling this week? You can share more if you want. You don't have to. And then how are you feeling physically? So how's your body feeling? And then you can share more if you want. Click submit when you're done. Number 2, it says check your Gmail for your IXL username and password. So if you go to your Gmail, you should have gotten a message or an email from IXL, including your username and password to sign in. If you did not, you can email me. So my email is right here. You can click on it. It starts an email like this. And then you can put subject IXL. And then you can say, can I have my username and password, please? So you can send me a message like that. You'll click send. And then I can get you your username and password if you didn't get that Gmail. If you have it, that's great. So you're going to work on 2 skills. So you'll notice there's one link. This one's for fractions. And there's one link, and this link is for decimals. So one starts with DE for decimals. One starts with F for fractions. There are 2 skills. For each skill, you need to get a SMART score of 70 or higher. So it's not one skill, there's 2 of them. Each of them need a score of 70 or higher. If you do one of them, you get half credit. If you do both, you get full credit. And if you do neither, you get a 0. So you'll go ahead and click on the link. When you click on the link, it will say username and password in the top. You want to type in that username and password that you got through Gmail. So mine's already saved, so I'm going to click sign in. And you know you're signed in when it says welcome and your name. So do not start the skill until it says welcome and your name, because then it won't save your score and you will not get credit. So it says welcome and my name in the top right corner because I signed in with my username and password. And then I can start. So you'll notice on the side it says time lapsed. Don't worry about the time. You are not timed. It's just for me to know if you did it super fast or you took your time, but it doesn't affect your score. Right here on the right-hand side, it says SMART score. So your goal is for this to say 70 or higher. So it can be 71, 72, 100, 90, 80. As long as it's 70 or higher, you can stop. There is no turn in button. It just saves wherever you are. So once you get a 70, you can exit. It saves it. This one is fractions, so it lets you know which one you're working on. Obviously, this one's the one with fractions. The first time you start, it says learn with an example. So if you need to remember how to add fractions with the same denominator, you can click learn with example. It says add the numerators, keep the denominator the same. So 7/10 plus 2/10, I added the top, which is the numerator, and notice that I did not add the bottom. So if that's true, then same thing as for subtraction. So 8 take away 6 is 2, and I keep 12 on the bottom. You don't have to simplify, so notice that this also simplifies to 1/6. You do not have to simplify because this skill is about adding and subtracting. It's not about simplifying, so you do not have to simplify. So keep answering questions. So 5 plus 3 is 8, and they had a matching denominator, which is why I only had 1 step. If you get an answer wrong, it will give you an explanation. So instead of clicking got it, you should pause and take the time to look at how you got it wrong. So I was supposed to subtract the numerators and keep the denominator the same. So I was supposed to do 4 minus 2 and get 2, and then leave it out of 8. So you'll keep going. That's easy level. Medium level is, or level 2, you're going to add or subtract when they don't have a common denominator. So notice that these do not have a common denominator. So you're going to have to get a matching denominator. Okay, so you have two choices. So you can use your knowledge from 5th and 6th grade, and you know that I can turn a 2 into a 10. So I'm going to multiply them both by, I'm going to multiply by 5. So I can turn 2 into 10 by multiplying by 5. Whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So 9/10 would stay the same. Subtraction would stay the same. And then instead of 1/2, I would have 1 times 5 is 5. Oops. Let me erase that real quick. So 1 times 5 is 5. And 2 times 5 is 10, because the whole point was to get a matching denominator. So when they do not have common denominators, it's one more step for me. So I have to turn one of them into the other, or I have to change both. 2 can change into 10 by multiplying by 5, so I'm just going to change one of them. 9 take away 5 is 4, and 10 stays the same. So same thing, same concept as the first level, it's just I have to change one of them. So I have to make an equivalent fraction. So I have to change 1/2 to an equivalent fraction, but in tenths. So 5/10 is the same as 1/2. They're the same, just cut up into different pieces. That's one option. Or for this level 2, you have a model that can help you. So your model says 9/10. So it gave me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9/10. And then I have 1/2. The models are drawn to scale. So you'll notice that my 1/2 is the same so my 1/2 is the same as 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my 1/2 is the same as 5/10. So if that's true, then I'm basically doing 9/10 take away 5/10. So I'm taking away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if that's true, because these are drawn to scale, the picture can help me because I'm just left with 4/10, which is the same answer I got up here. So the picture is there to help you. So I could type in 4/10, click submit. So each time you'll have let me use a different color marker. So each time you're going to have two fractions that do not have a common denominator. So I can change my 2 into 6 by, I can change my 2 into 12 by multiplying by 6. I'm going to put a dot, but I guess I could put a times. And then whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So I'm changing 1/2 to an equivalent fraction with 12. So 1/2 changes to 6, 1 times 6, and then 6 times 2 is 12. Now I can add them. So I didn't change this one. So that's just 8/12. And now I add the top, keep the bottom the same, just like before. So 6 plus 8 over 12. The model can also help you. So you'll notice that my 1/2 matches 6 of these. So 6 of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the same as 1/2. So 6/12 is the same as 1/2. So if I have 6 of them and then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I have 14 of them and they were cut into 12ths. So I can write 14/12. So I'm just showing you two ways that you can do it. You do not have to simplify. You can leave it as 14/12. This lesson is not about simplifying. All right, so let me erase this stuff real quick. So that's how the model can help you. If you do get an answer wrong, it actually goes over what I'm talking about. So 1/2 is the same as 1, 2, 3 of these. So 1/2 is the same as 3 of these 6. So if I change the 1/2 into 3, 6, then I have 3, 4, 5. So my answer was 5, 6. So the explanation goes over what I'm talking about. So 1/3 is the same as 1, 2, 3, 4/12. So this is like 4/12. I will draw on it so you can see. So it's like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7 of them, and they were cut into 12ths. So that would be my answer. All right, so the model's there. You can obviously use this method on your own. Once you get past 60, now you have to do it on your own. So they do not have a picture for you anymore. They're hoping you got enough practice that you can do it on your own. So notice that the bottom numbers are not matching. So I have to turn them into the same thing. I can't turn 7 into 2, and I can't turn 2 into 7. So I'm going to have to change both of them. If you're not sure what to change them into, the easiest thing to do is to multiply one denominator by the other. So 7 times, I'm just multiplying both denominators. 7 times 2 is 14. So I'm going to change both the bottom numbers into 14. So 7 times 2 turns into 14. And whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. Now I want to turn 2 into 14. So I'm going to multiply by 7. And whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. All right, so let me change my fraction. So instead of 5/7, I'm going to have 2 times 5 is 10, and 2 times 7 is 14. Still subtracting. And instead of 1/2, I'm going to have the equivalent fraction, which is 1 times 7 is 7, 2 times 7 is 14. And that makes sense because 7 is half of 14, so 7/14 is the same as 1/2. And 5/7 is the same as 10/14. So I basically doubled both of them. Now that I have matching denominators, I can subtract. The bottom stays the same. And 10 take away 7 is 3. So paper might help you, especially once you get past 60. Paper is definitely going to help you. And so if that's my answer, I'm going to do 3/14 to represent 3/14. Click submit. If you get it right, it will tell you. If you get it wrong, there is an exclamation point or an explanation, and you can read how they solved it. Definitely very helpful. So once you get to 70, you can stop. You can exit. It does save your score. That's the fraction one. Your second skill, you can exit. Click on the decimal one. And again, it will start over because this is a different skill. Your goal is a SMART score of 70. What you need to remember for decimals, so learn with the example, you have to, I would write the problem vertically, which means stacked, and you have to line up the decimal. So for addition and subtraction, you have to line up the decimal. All right, so I'm going to do a couple so you can see what I mean. So 4.3, the first one goes on top, and then minus 2.6. And notice that I'm lining up the decimal. So decimal, decimal, line them up. 3 take away 6, I don't have enough. 3 take away 6. If I only have 3, I can't take away 6, so I'm going to have to borrow. Borrowing 10. 13 take away 6 is 7. 3 take away 2 is 1, and then I just bring the decimal down. So wherever the decimal was is where it ends. Again, why paper might be helpful, or you can use those whiteboards that I shared on the class stream. I got 1.7, I put it in, that's my answer. Remember, these are all positive. There's no negative numbers yet. So you're going to keep adding or subtracting. If I'm adding, remember I'm lining up the decimal. So if this is the decimal, I'm going to line them up. 1.41, 9.26. Add them like normal and bring the decimal down. All right, so that's the first couple questions. Level 2, you're going to have to do the same thing, but you just add a 0 if you need to. So we have 0.4 and 7.94. So I'm lining up the decimal. I'm adding them. I didn't have a number here, so I'm just going to put 0. I can always put as many zeros as I need in the blank spots. 0 plus 4 is 4. 9 plus 4 is 13. Carry the 1. 1 plus 0 is 1. Plus 7 is 8. And then I bring the decimal down. So you're going to do those almost identical. 8.34. Keep in mind that if your number, hold on, let me erase this. Okay, so keep in mind that if your number does not have a decimal, so 707 does not have a decimal, numbers that don't have a decimal actually have a decimal at the end. So 707 is like 707 with no change. So there is a decimal. It's always after the last number. And then if I'm subtracting 8.977, I'm going to put the 8 here because it's in the ones place. These are in the hundredths, tenths, and ones. Point, and then these are the tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So 707, the 7 is in the ones place, the 8 is in the ones place. So these are which get lined up. They're both in the ones place. If I don't have enough zeros, I can just put some in there. And this was subtracting. I'm going to have to do a lot of borrowing. Let me use a different color to show you. So 0 take away 7, I don't have enough. I'm going to borrow, can't borrow, can't borrow. Got to go all the way to the next one I can borrow. That's a 10. He's going to borrow from him, so that's a 9, 10. He's going to borrow from him. That's going to turn into a 9 and 10. So lots of borrowing going on. Okay, so I keep borrowing from your neighbor until you have enough. 10 take away 7 is 3. 9 take away 7 is 2. 9 take away 9 is 0. 6 take away 8, I don't have enough. Gonna borrow from my neighbor. He doesn't have enough. Gonna borrow from my neighbor. So instead of 7, I have 6. Give him a 1. He has 10 now. Now I can borrow, so he's gonna turn into a 9. And I borrowed the 10. So 16 take away 8 is 8. And then 9 take away nothing, 6 take away nothing. So lots of borrowing in this problem. So just another reason why paper might be helpful. And then I just bring the decimal down. So if the decimal is right here, I bring it down right here. So be careful. Using paper is going to be your best friend. It takes a little more time, but then you have to do less problems. So it takes more time, but it's less problems. So I just type my exact answer in there, double check that it's the same as what I got, click submit, and now I just need to get to 70. So just be careful when you're lining up the decimals and borrowing. This is for review. Make sure you're not using a calculator. Once you get to 70 or higher, you can stop. Go back to Google Classroom, turn it in. I will be looking for a score of 70 or higher on both of them for full credit. Make sure you're working on missing work or extra credit. I have this extra credit assignment for you if you would like. It's due by Friday. You can also attach a picture of your whiteboard that you were working on or scratch paper that you were using. That is optional, but you can attach it for extra credit. And remember to be looking for your missing work. So instead of this create button, you should have a view your work button. Once you click on that, you can actually click on missing on the side and see any missing assignments in my class. So if you have something missing, click on it, make sure you did it, turn it in, and that can help your grade as well. Missing work is due by Friday. All right, if you have any questions, make sure to email me. My email's right here on the stream. I also attached 4 whiteboard options that you can use if you don't want to use paper. You don't have to use them. It's just another tool for you. All right, have a great day.